Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome to this, the fifth in this series of videos, all about how to do the AAT Synoptic Practice Tests. And this one's about how to do Part C of Practice Test 1. There's a lot of separate instructions in this one, so much so they don't really fit on one slide. So let's take a deep breath and go through these now, because there's only one tiny little thing to do after this video, and the whole of this sample test 1 is done. So in this one we got to return to the invoices worksheet and filter the whole table by net sales to show the bottom 5 only. Then we've got to insert a subtotal formula in it, that net sales column again, same column, to work out the average of the bottom 5 sales. Format this column as Great Britain pounds in currency. Insert a formula in cell A1 that will always show the current date and time. Set the worksheet to show formulas rather than resulting values, and ensure all the contents can be seen when the page is set to landscape. Take a screenshot of that worksheet showing the formulas and paste it into the new worksheet in the current workbook. Name the new worksheet Formulas, and finally return to the Invoices worksheet and remove the Show Formulas setting. Okay, so deep breath, and let's go and have a go at all of that. So this is what the spreadsheet looked like when we left it after the last video. And the first thing we've got to do in this video is filter the whole table by net sales to show the bottom 5 net sales only. That's very easily done. It's another one of these features where you just select any cell in the dataset at all and you click on filter. I think I had it on there already actually, but that's how you go with that. Just click anywhere in there, click filter. And what happens then is the spreadsheet can spot what the top of each column is, and the column headings in this row here in row 6, and it places a drop-down menu in each one. And in that drop-down menu, you can sort by smallest to largest, or you can sort by various custom number filters. But the feature of this drop-down menu that we're interested in to fulfill this criteria, which is to filter the whole table by net sales to show the bottom 5 net sales only, is this section here, which you can see what it's done is it's automatically looked at every value in the net sales column and put them in order down here, and we can, it's pretty much every value there from about 640, missing a few out, all the way up to nearly 10,000 there, with a few exceptions. But they're in order. Now that's the happy thing for us, because all we have to do now is just choose the bottom 5 of those values and our work is done. So what I'm going to do first of all, rather than what would be quite a slow way of doing it, would be to untick all of these until we've got 5 left. I'm actually going to click select all and then select all again, and it deselects them all, and then just choose the top 5 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and click OK. You'll see we're not quite out of the woods yet, because actually clicking the bottom 5 values doesn't quite give us the bottom 5 invoices. It actually gives us the bottom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The reason for that is there's a couple of duplicates, they're not duplicate invoices. We removed those in a previous video, but they're duplicate sales values. So for example, there's a couple of sales that both resulted in a net sale of 744, and there's a couple that ended in net sales of 680. So I'm going to tweak it slightly. Just one at a time, I'm going to take out the 896s, and that leaves us with 6. So tweak it slightly again. I'm going to take out the 762s, and that leaves us with 5 values. So that is that bit done there. I've filtered the whole table by net sales to show just the bottom 5 net sales. The next instruction is, if I look at my instruction sheet here, insert a subtotal formula in the net sales column to work out the average of these bottom 5 sales. Now the way this works is there is a feature called subtotal, and its structure is this: equals subtotal, open a bracket as always, and then there's various things that the subtotal function can do. You can see a summary of them here. If I put a 1 next, it'll find the average of a group of cells. If I put a 2, it'll count them. If I put 4, it'll find the maximum values. If I put 5, it'll find min. If I put a 9, it'll add them up. So I'm going to put 1 because we want to find the average. And then I'm going to highlight those cells. close the bracket, and hit enter. And that is the average of those. And you're probably saying, hang on a minute now, why has he gone to all the bother of using subtotal when he could have used average? Well, I'll show you why not. If I use average, which is the obvious thing to use here, it's all to do with the fact that we've hidden quite a lot of rows here. Remember, the rows, if you look over here on the row numbers, we've hidden everything from 17 to 71 and 71 to 97 when we did the filter. So there are a lot of rows here that they haven't gone, they haven't been deleted, they're still there. And the problem with the average function is that it will actually include all of those, even though they're hidden. So if I use the average function there, you can see we're getting 4,276 and change, which is obviously completely wrong. So that's the reason for using the subtotal function, because it doesn't include hidden cells. So it's perfect for this job. The next thing on my instruction sheet is format this column as GBP currency, Great British Pounds. So I'm going to highlight the whole of that column, and I'm going to go to Home and format that to currency. Now, the gross sales column currently is not formatted. It really should be. And in fact, if you go to the AAT website where we got this practice test from, you'll notice if you look at the example answers that this column is actually, it is also formatted to Great British Pounds, Great Britain Pounds, GBP. So I could just do them both at the same time, like that is the obvious thing to do. And that kills two birds with one stone. My next task is a very simple one. It's just insert a formula in cell A1 that will always show the current date and time, and that's very easy. That's what's called the now function, and it's an odd function in that it hasn't actually got any what they call any arguments or any parameters. It's just got you just go open bracket, close bracket, and it will always show it'll get the time and date from the computer, from the inbuilt settings in the computer. And it will always show today's date and time. Now, I'm not going to panic because it's all hashtags there. All that's saying is that the column isn't wide enough. So if I widen it, there we've got the date and the time there. So looking at my instruction sheet, what's next? Set the worksheet to show formulas rather than the resulting values of the formulas, and ensure that all the contents can be seen when you set the page to landscape. Okay, so we want the show formulas function. Normally, when you look at the normal view of a spreadsheet, you see the results of formulas. To see the actual formula that created that, we need to double click. This one was created by VLOOKUP in an earlier video, you'll remember. This one was created in video 1 or 2 there, by including the VAT cell up here. But you can't see those normally unless you switch to formula view. And then you can see all the formulas that created these values. So I'm going to go to the formulas ribbon. I'm going to go show formulas. That tends to make everything very, very wide. So a good idea is to just fiddle with the column widths a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat here, and you can actually change several columns in one go like that, just so that everything can be seen. You can also use the shortcut that we saw earlier, just to nicely customize the columns so that they're the right width, because part of this criteria is ensure the contents can be seen when you set the page to landscape. So I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go file, and I'm going to go print to see what a print would look like. It's currently in portrait, so I'm going to go page layout, change that to landscape. And you can tell, I can tell now, even without going back to print preview, that this won't fit on one page, because you can see the line here. This dotted line is showing us that it won't. So I'm just going to, again, fiddle around with the widths a little bit. That's the first thing you should always try, to get it to fit on one page. We can't squeeze it too much. This one will probably do it if I make that one a little bit smaller. Maybe squeeze this one a little bit. Yeah, I just went then. Yep, that's now on one page. So if I look at file and print, that's all nicely on one page. I can check that here. It does say 1 of 3 down here, but that's because there is a little bit of an instruction box from the exam board there, which is causing it to go onto the second and third pages. But that's a very nice looking formula view, which fits very nicely on one page. with all information available. I'm just double checking again there. Remember, one of the very first things you were told in this practice test was accuracy was very important, so I'm making sure, just doing a visual check there, that everything is visible. And what I'm required to do then is do a screenshot of that. I'm just going to zoom in first, just so that the screenshot is top quality there. Make sure I've still got everything. Yeah, got everything visible there. And I'm going to do a screenshot, ready to put back into here. In fact, I'm going to paste that in right now. I'm going to go home ribbon and paste. It'll come out quite big, probably, your screenshot, so you want to fiddle with the size of it a little bit. This is proof of what your formulas were, like that. Having done that, then what it requires you to do is come out of formula view, if you remember, which was in formulas and show formulas. What you'll find you have to do then is you have to fiddle around a little bit with the size of each column again, just so that like so. And you may find you actually have to mess around a little bit with the screenshot as well, just spend a little bit of time. Accuracy is important here. I may even crop this screenshot a little bit. If you look at the example answers, the screenshot in the example answers has been cropped nicely there. You can do a bit of cropping on it. Just make sure everything is nice for when you upload your work. So that's looking pretty good. Again, just do a visual check. Oh, I've just spotted something up here. It's hashtags again. This column needs making a bit wider. It's all about accuracy, this. And I think, oh, the column, you see column I is a little bit cramped there. I'm just going to turn off my filters here as well, just so we can get rid of that. No, actually, no, that's wrong. You have to keep the filters on, don't you? So I'm going to undo that. There we go. Yeah, I have to keep filters on there. So that was a little bit of a bridge too far, but I think I've tidied that up quite nicely. I'm just going to go back to my instructions now. And I've just actually noticed that the screenshot should actually be in a new worksheet. That's easily fixed though. So I'll copy and paste it, I'll cut and paste it from this this current worksheet into a new worksheet. Creating a new worksheet is simplicity itself. You need to go down here to the Insert Worksheet button. And let's go back to invoices for a second. I'm going to cut and paste the screenshot that I did out of here and put it in the new worksheet. Now it's there, I can make it a little bit bigger maybe, so that the examiner can see things very clearly. And I need to rename this new worksheet and call it Formulas. And remember that if you watched one of the previous videos, I think it was the previous one to this, where we had to we did the pivot table, you'll know how to rename a sheet. It's just a right click, rename, and then type in the new name. Couldn't be simpler. Okay, so just before I feel a little bit too pleased with myself, I'm just going to check I've done everything here. So let's do a double check. Return to the invoices worksheet and filter the whole table by net sales to show the bottom 5 net sales. Tick, I've done that. Insert a subtotal formula in the net sales column to work out the average of the bottom 5 sales. Done that one. Format this column as GBP currency. I did that, and also while I was there, I formatted the gross sales column to the same currency as well. Although it didn't say that, but like I say, if you go and look at the example answers on the AAT website, GBP has been formatted to, gross sales has been formatted to GBP as well. I inserted a formula in cell A1 that will always show the current date and time, so that everything on that slide has been done. I set the worksheet to show formulas rather than the resulting values of the formulas, and I made sure that all the contents fitted onto the page when set to landscape. These last 3 points, I think I did them slightly in the wrong order, but they did all get done. Take a screenshot of the worksheet showing formulas and paste it into the new worksheet. Originally I pasted it into the same worksheet, but it wasn't disastrous. I named the new worksheet Formulas, and I returned to the Invoices worksheet and removed the Show Formula setting. So I think I did those last 3 in a slightly different order, but it wasn't the end of the world at all. So, as with all of the videos in this series, if you're not sure about any of it, go back, have another look. I hope you found it useful and feel confident to have a go yourself. Now, I'll see you in the next video, which will be the final one about how to do part E, which is to do with protecting cells. So, see you then.